Hello, my name is Father Guido Sarducci, and today I'm on like a special assignment for these guy, Anderson and Cooper. I'm reporting from the sun deck at 3000 Sand Hill Road. This is like a really special place in a Silicon Valley. Now you're probably wondering what the hell I'm doing in the Silicon Valley. Well, I wondered too. What happened was, I was asked by the most special and holy father, he's a new guy, Pope Benedict, to cover these Silicon Valley Film Festival. Now many of you are probably wondering how things are going at the Vatican these days. You know, these old guy, John Paul, he like died, and so we have like a new Pope, he's a guy Benedict. In fact, it has been a great concern for many people about maybe there be like a policy changes. Like there was a Vatican I, and maybe a Vatican II, a Vatican III. Well, I tell you, this guy Benedict, he is doing some good things, and we are seeing some positive changes. Let me give you like a little example. Take a breakfast, okay? So like when we had like John Paul, he was like the Pope for like 26 years. This is like the longest time since this guy, Pope Pius. Anyway, for a breakfast, we could have a waffles or we could have a pancakes. But every day, we had to have these Polish sausage. And that was because of this guy's name was really Carol, and he was like from Warsaw, Poland. Well, I tell you, this new Pope is doing a great job. He is shaking things up. And now we have some egg dishes. Like this last Sunday, I tell you, it was very nice. I had a new dish. It is called Eggs Benedict. Now, I don't know how they got this name, Benedict, but I tell you, it was really good. This new Pope is also interested in like improving employee morale. So he has like instigated like some programs to make the priests more happy. You know what I mean? Well, one of the programs is called the Popes in the Pizza Contest. Now what happens is, you get a pizza, and if you can, when you get your pizza, if you can tell the pizza driver who you think of the Pope is in the pizza before you pay like the guy, you get like a free pizza. It is really nice. Now I think this is a cheesy pizza, so I think it is probably like a Pope Pius. Let's see. Oh, it's this guy Benedict again, so I have to pay for my pizza. Anyway, I flew in last weekend to Los Angeles to cover these Silicon Valley Film Festival. I flew to LA because I figured out is where all this silicon was. I thought maybe like these babe Pamela Anderson would be there. Or maybe my friends, Paris Hilton and Lindsay. Well, I tell you, it's not a good in L.A. These women are all in a jail these days. So I did not know what to do. So I called my friend Arnold. They call this guy the Terminator. Anyway, he says, Father Guido, he's like a pretty good friend of mine. He says, Guido, Silicon Valley is the north. It is in the north, in the mountain region of California. He said, it is in a beautiful village called Mountain View. So I took a southwest to San Jose, and I rented a car. I tell you, this place, Silicon Valley, is magnificent. It is really thriving. And in the film industry is great. They have like a thin film lithography. They have like a wafer fabs, and they have like this mass spectroscopy. They have a cowboys too, and they call them Yahoos. Anyway, I called back to the Vatican, and I realized this was not at the film festival that these guy Benedict wanted me to cover. Well, I did not know what to do. So, when you don't know what you're going to do, what do? You call the big man at the Pixar. So I decided to call these guys Steve Jobs. But you know, I tell you, Pixar is like in Richmond. And his other company is like an Apple. He's like wears two hats. So I went into Apple, and I met this guy. In fact, this guy was named a Guy Kawasaki. So I said, Guy Kawasaki. He says, I'm evangelist. And I said, you don't look like evangelist. You don't look like a Jerry Falwell. You don't look like a Jim Baker. And he said, well, he was evangelist because he was passionate about a fruit. Anyway, he told me that a Steve Jobs was not in, but that I could have talked to the board. So I said that would be a real good, and I went into the boardroom. When I got into the boardroom, there was like this really big guy, and his name was Al Gore. He's from Tennessee, and he used to be on the miniseries Law and Order. Anyway, I have a picture of Al here. His dear father, I wish you the best, Al. Anyway, Al is a really good guy. So we were talking, and somehow, I don't know how, but somehow global warming came up. And he told me that these global warming was like really bad, and there was like a downside to global warming. He told me that global warming makes some men shrink. Well, I told him I think that's why maybe they created Levitra. Anyway, he told me at Apple the summer of 2006 was pretty hot. And these guys, Steve Jobs, had shrunk. And in fact, he shrunk so much he looked like a Dodger doll. Well, I tell you, Al Gore said this was not going to be a good thing for Apple. So what happened was they gave Steve Jobs like a code name since he was so small. These are guys, Steve Jobs, I tell you. Anyway, these are code name. We codenamed him, or Al Gore codenamed him, Little Sheldon, because that was a name that all his friends knew him by. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the rest of the story. This is Father Guido Sarducci on a special assignment from Fort Anderson and Cooper, covering these Silicon Valley Film Festival, saying ciao and arrivederci, goodbye.